Alright, what's going on guys? Phil here. So, it is day 2 of Rastakhan's Rumble, and with that being said, there's a lot of decks being tested and new ideas coming out, new cards to play with. In the first day, it seemed like Disco Zoo was a very popular deck, Death Rattle Hunter is a very popular deck still, Immortal Prelate Paladin, and also the Shirvala OTK Paladin are both very common decks on ladder. Um, Obviously, there could have been some things that changed overnight. It's currently 10 a.m. On the second day of Rastakhan's Rumble, but one thing that I found interesting is that Evolve Shaman was given quite a lot of support this expansion, and so with that being said, on the subreddit there's an ongoing pro and streamer deck lists thread, and so on that there are actually a ton of different Evolve Shaman lists. So what I want to do is go through these early day, lists, see what the differences are between each, go through, play some games with some of them, and try to really refine this archetype. Because, it's hard to tell this early on whether an archetype is going to be, long-standing or actually good. Um, but these kinds of exercises, especially comparing different lists, allows us to figure out, what new cards really can stand out, and what old cards might not, warrant a slot anymore. So with that being said, I pulled up 5 different lists, and then I think I deleted my own list. Yeah, yesterday I had my own list, but I got rid of it because I thought it was pretty bad. So we're just going to take inspiration from all of these lists. What I'm going to do is pull up the deck tracker as well, so that we can use that while we do matches, to track which list, we're testing. But I'm pretty excited for this because this is one of my favorite archetypes, and I think that going through and looking at the differences will help us try and refine it a little bit. I also have these all named after who made them, so all credit where credit's due. I did not make any of the lists that we're going to be using. The list which I created was very bad, as it turns out. So let's set up a Hearthstone deck tracker for the stream real quick, and then we will be good to hop into this. There you go. Actually, it's already working. Cool. So, this is the first list we're going to be looking at. It's Jackie Chan's list. A lot of these lists, share some of the core elements. So a lot of them still run early game, like Firefly and Zap. Flame Tongue Totem's in just about all of them. Manatite Totem is just about in all of them. This new card, Zentimo, is a really key piece in a lot of these lists. I think it's only missing from one of them. I'm not sure off the top of my head. As we go through the list, we'll figure out which one did not include it. My gut feeling is that not including Zentimo into these lists is a huge mistake. Zentimo is just so versatile in this deck because it combos so well with Ultimate Infestation, Big Bad Voodoo if your list is running that, as well as defensive tools. This list doesn't run, but lots of lists also run Hex. So this list from Jackie Chan seems a little bit more aggressive. It runs the former champ, which is a little bit different. That's not a card I really expected to see. But when it comes down to the cards which are very understated that summon bigger dudes, the lower mana cost they are, the better for you, because it means it takes less mana to go off with your evolve turns. So you typically don't have to play a 5 mana 1/1 and hope it survives. It kind of has the Fungal Mancer effect, where you play a crappy body and you hope that its effect will, keep it alive for a turn so you can start evolving it. But this one, its effect gives you another large evolve token too. So it's an interesting choice. It's not one that I would have instantly gone towards, because in the past, cards which acted like this, I'm not sure if it's still in standard, the 6 mana 1/1. I forget what his name is, but there used to be a 6 mana 1/1 that summoned a big ass dude too, and he was never run in standard Evolve Shaman. I wish I knew what that card was, but it's not really worth going back through for now. Aside from that, this looks fairly standard. It runs this new Zap Voltaic Burst Thunderhead combo, which I've seen in different styles of Shaman. In these first couple days, people have really been testing out whether Thunderhead has merit. Voltaic Burst, from what I've seen, has actually been fairly strong. I'm just not sure if the cards supporting it are worthwhile. Voltaic Burst with Flame Tongue Totem is a great way to get back on board. It's super cheap, and it's basically 2 removal spells. Along with that, all the little 1/1s that you get are okay to evolve. They're not great. Um, Off the top of my head, I think that if you're going to be running Voltaic Burst, it might be worth in your top end putting in the Stormbringer, just so if you have a board full of 1/1s, you can turn them into more than 3 drops. You can turn them into really large legendary threats. But so this is Jackie's list. It looks interesting. I like, kind of where it's going. I like that we're going to be able to test out the Thunderhead package in this list and also see how Former Champ works. But, first impressions, we're missing the Stormbringer, which might seem more of a meme card, but it seems fairly powerful, especially if you're running all these little tokens. Um, Along with that, it's not running. What card is it? Let's look at one of the other lists and see if I can figure out what card I was looking for. Yeah, it's not running Shutterwalk. So I really like the Shutterwalk idea in these kinds of Evolve lists, especially for running the Corpse Taker package. Many of these lists don't actually seem to be running the Corpse Taker package, which is interesting because Corpse Taker is an incredibly powerful card in the earlier versions of this deck list. So let's see. Board Control seems to be the only one that runs the Corpse Taker package still, unless Asmonite does as well. Asmonite does not. So I think that's something to look out for as we go through these lists, is how how much we're missing the Corpse Taker package, because Corpse Taker, it only takes 3 card slots, and obviously, with new cards it means that those slots could go to something else. But those 3 slots for just a chance to get a really big swing on turn 4 might be worth considering. Let's take another in-depth look at some of these other lists before we go into playing. This is already used list. I believe this is the first list which used Former Champ, so I'm not sure, how independently these 2 lists that we just looked at were made from Jackie and RDU, but this will be interesting to see how Former Champ works in this as well, especially given that it might get slightly better since it has the Prince Kelseth buff. It makes it more likely that it survives. I have never tried in a list like this that also ran Keleseth, because Flame Tongue Totem and with the new cards Big Bad Voodoo, those seem very strong. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how the Keleseth version does. This is something I like though. His list does run Zentimo, obviously for the Unstable Evolution combo, but it also does run the defensive options, which in in a world where Prelate Paladin is a thing, they make very massive boards, but they also make very massive boards with their threats right next to each other. So you can Zentimo and Hex, like, 2 of their 3 Prelates, or both of their Prelates if they haven't made any copies. So that seems incredibly strong. I think on first glance, I like this list more than I like Jackie Chan's list, but it's going to be interesting to see how much we miss Flame Tongue, Earthen Might, Big Bad Voodoo. I'm not sure if Jackie's ran Big Bad Voodoo. It did. So missing those 2 drops will be interesting. Moving on to Dogs Evolve Shaman. It's worth stating as we go down this list, these are mostly in order from when they were posted on the subreddit list. So this should be like the newest one. These should be kind of the older ones. If I could be wrong, I'm fairly certain that Dogs was the first list posted, so this is most likely the least refined of the starter lists. And you can kind of tell that just based on some of its inclusions. So I like the Stormbringer, especially because he's running the Voltaic Burst Thunderhead package. So even though that card, at first glance might seem kind of meme, it can be really strong in combination with these 2 cards. The Cult Masters are interesting. Many of the lists don't run a lot of card draw, but I'm not sure how Cult Master is really the draw that we're looking for. So when we're playing this list specifically, we're going to be looking at the power level of Cult Master, and also we're going to be seeing how good Lickum is, because most of the lists don't run Lickum. And off the top of my head, I'm not super stoked about it, but it could be good. I like that many of these lists are taking in 1 Bloodlust just in case. That gives us, an alternate win condition that's not the Shutterwalk. It seems like many of the Shutterwalk versions do not run, the Bloodlust, because like this one doesn't have Shutterwalk at the end. Going into board control's list, this runs Feral Spirit. That's a card I have not seen in ages. It also runs Reign of Toads, which, I guess the idea is that you get those down, and then you can start Zentimo unstable porting multiple things. Reign of Toads pre-expansion was toted as, you know, a fairly decent Evolve Shaman card. So this will be interesting to test out. I do like the inclusion of Hagatha and the Corpse Taker package in this list. Um, I'm sad that we have Earthen Might over something like the Big Bad Voodoo card, mostly because I just want to test this out. I think it'll be very strong, but you know, this synergizes well with the Corpse Taker package. We're running Serenites without a Keleseth, which feels a little bad. But this list seems fairly strong. I think going into it, this is one of my favorite lists just off the eye test. And then final list we're going to be looking at is Asmodee's. Asmodee's list goes in a lot of different directions. It's more of a Shutterwalk list than some of the others. Unfortunately, none of these lists run a Zola or a Bog, the new card, Bog Slosher. I think that Bog Slosher is a card that could very easily fit into these lists, especially the ones that are running Shutterwalk, because you're already running double Serenite, and so this can act as your Zola and allow you to get multiple Shutterwalks without even going for that game plan, you know, particularly. As well as the +2/+2 can just be strong on, you know, something like a Taunt, or a Fungal Mancer to get the benefit again, or a Serenite. So I think one thing that all these lists miss out on is the power level of Bog Slosher. So once we play a couple games with each, we'll obviously, you know, pull what we felt was the best elements from all of them, and I'm gonna end up making my own list with the strongest elements from all these lists, and I will most likely want to test Bog Slosher if we end up going the Shutterwalk route. And I'd be surprised if we don't go into the Shutterwalk route. Shutterwalk is incredibly powerful in this archetype, just as a late game, you know, kind of finisher. So we'll see how it goes. It looks like Hearthstone is gonna crash, which it didn't. Nice. So we're just gonna start at the top with Jackie Chan's list. We'll do a couple games each. In this list, we're looking out to see how good Big Bad Voodoo is, and how good the Thunderhead Voltaic Burst packages, as well as this will be our first experience with Former Champ. So this should be cool. This should be an interesting list to try out. Alright, so against Hunter, we're most likely going to be facing Death Rattle Hunter. I like this. I don't really know what we actually want to go for. One thing I have to do really quick is get rid of the Innkeeper overlay, because having two overlays doesn't make any sense. So that's exited. That's exited. Cool. So we're mostly looking for, you know, Firefly, Flame Tongue, Primal Fin. I think we're just going to get rid of the entire hand. And also we're going to go back to a real resolution for our game. There we go. Okay, so we got Flame Tongue, Manatide. That's not bad. And we have nothing to do this turn. Death Rattle Hunter should be a fairly difficult matchup for us. But I think we have quite a bit of, you know, power in this deck that we might be able to fight through it. And then I'm actually going to go in. I have in my stream tab a ton of deck lists up. I'm going to get rid of some of those to try and help the performance a little bit. And then let's see if there's anything else I can close down. We can close down that. Cool. That should help the performance a little bit, but still allow us to stream at a fairly decent resolution. So yeah, we have fairly basic turns. Next turn we can just Manatide. We can set up for a Fungal. Former Champ actually sets up for Fungal Mancer fairly well because you get two bodies, so that might be something worth considering, that a synergy that I hadn't really thought of. He's using his candle shot charge on this. He must think that we're Shutterwalk. Since he thinks that we're going to be a much slower deck than we are, I'm going to just play this out. Get some card draw. He might play differently because he thinks that we're a Shutterwalk version, and so that could play to our advantage fairly well. Getting this Primal Fin's pretty nice. This could be explosive, which would be unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world right now while we have his totems. I really like the inclusion of Big Bad Voodoo. Going Zentimo into Big Bad Voodoo is just super strong. It's kind of like a stronger Soul of the Forest in many cases, and Soul of the Forest is like the best card in Token Druid. Nice. So we got him to waste one of his only like hard removals. Depending on if he's Spell or Death Rattle Hunter, he either runs 1 or 2 Deadly Shots, 200's Mark, and then if he's Death Rattle, he runs the Magnet Bomb. So this should be interesting. I'm just gonna go setting up for our Fungal Mancer next turn, and I'm not gonna play a third one in case it's Rat Trap. We don't have an answer to Rat Trap currently. This is fairly bad versus Explosive, or at least it looks like it is. But we can set up for the Fungal Mancer and start doing, you know, we can proc Freezing with like one of these guys, and then that'll proc Explosive as well. It'll kill our Fungal, but we still get this buffed up Primal Fin Totem. And so, all in all, for having to deal with, you know, 2 traps, that's not too bad for our deck. And then we're hoping to go like Former Champ into Big Bad Voodoo, because that's incredibly powerful. Okay, good. So Liek was the best for us. Oh, I hope he kills the totem. If we get that 1 extra damage, that could proc Freezing. I think that it's safe to say this might not be Freezing since he was considering killing this. But we're just going to go like this. Is there a better way to do this? What we can do, if we buff like this actually, is that better? Because we can go Zap, test for, oh, yeah, test for Freezing. This will have 3 health, so it doesn't die to the explosive if it's explosive. Yeah. So this is the play. We play it this way. We zap this. We test for freezing and explosive this way. Wandering, okay. Ooh, that's a really good roll for him. And then explosive, yep. So that's alright. We're just going to take this value trade. He doesn't have a lot of things that deal 1. He could run the Unleash the Hounds. That would be his best card in this situation. But all in all, this didn't end up too bad. He hide rolled on the Wandering Monster a little bit, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. So it's looking more and more like Spell Hunter because he hasn't played anything. Is that going to be Coin Spellstone? Ooh, that's really bad for us. This list that we're testing doesn't run any AoE. That's most likely going to be game off that. I don't think our deck without any AoE has a way to come back from that. And that's one thing I noticed about Jackie's list too. The list that ran Lightning Storm and had a more like Shutterwalk win condition, I think are much stronger. This list is, you know, its AoE tool is supposed to be like Thunderhead into Zap into Voltaic Burst, getting lots of little tokens. But I don't have as much confidence in that as I do just normal token, you know, or normal AoE. I think our best play is we'll just chip in this 1 damage and get a 6 drop. Well, Prelate's interesting, but it's not going to help us. Mindbreaker doesn't matter. A 4/4 does not matter. A 4/5 does not help us in this situation. And let's get a 1/1. 6/6. Yeah. So it's fairly safe to say that we're gonna lose off of that turn. I think that this Thunderhead combo is not gonna be good enough. That's just my base instinct, because this feels really bad. If we're running a Shutterwalk variant, we can run stuff like Lightning Storm, Hagatha, have some of these more defensive tools. And there's the Deadly Shot, so he is just Spell Hunter. But since we're running a more aggressive token list, we don't have any of that. So yeah, that's going to be game. That's okay. You know, that's going to happen when you're testing lists. You're going to lose some games, especially to Hunter. Hunter's just incredibly powerful in the first 2 days of the expansion. Spell Hunter, Minimal Beast Hunter. Wait, what? Okay, that just confused me why there were X's there, but I understand. Anyways, Spell Hunter, kind of Spell Hunter, like the Secret Hunter that runs Zul'jin at the end. Death Rattle Hunter. All of those are very powerful right now, so there's going to be some fairly wide boards that you're going to have to deal with. So we're against another hunter. That's to be expected at the moment. Okay, so we don't have a lot of early game with this, but we can go Manatide. It's really greedy, but I like this keep. We have, you know, lots of card draw. Hopefully we can draw into some of our, you know, Thunderhead, Voltaic Burst, Zap combos. We have an Unstable in case our Corridor, you know, is able to come down early. Oh, he's playing Odd. Yikes. That is not something I accounted for. I wonder if Odd Hunter got a lot of love in this new expansion. He's playing Odd Quest Hunter. Oh shit. Alright. So our game plan is still just to go coin Manatide, and then set up for a Serenite, I guess. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but you know, as I think the Quest Hunter is going to be as slow as Odd Hunter can be, so this is probably better for us than just standard Odd Hunter, because he's going for some weird shit. Ooh, did the Brawliseum? Is that the new Tavern Brawl? That could be fun to do. We can do some Brawliseums with some new cards. I assume it's, you know, to cap off the Rastakhan's Rumble. Taskmaster's pretty strong. Alright, so we're just going to play another Manatide and hope to set up a big swing turn, you know, probably 2 turns down the line because we'll play out Serenite. He'll have to trade some stuff. We can get some big corridors. That's a pretty good one. And again, this is, you know, we have no AoE in this list. If we had something like a Lightning Storm, this is not a very threatening board at all, but we don't have that. So we also don't run Hex in this list, so we don't have an answer to his 8/8. I know we've only played 2 games of this list, but I'm really not feeling the whole no defensive tools. This is obviously more suited to go against something like, I don't even know, like Heal Zoo maybe? I just don't think having 0 AoE tools is the way to go with this. Alright, so we're gonna get a big swing turn after he plays his 8/8. So hopefully we can contest with our corridors into Unstable Evolutions. Queen Carnassa just about killed my computer too. Alright, so we're just gonna start with 1 and see what we can get up to. An 8/8, eh. Ooh, Dasta. That gets our beast out for free too, and we get a taunt minion. He's already free, but that's, you know, at least it was fun. So now we can go. We don't want a 7/5. What is this, 8? We could go for a big bad voodoo, but I don't think that that's worth it. I think we want to do this. Okay, a 9/7 is good. And we have no beasts in our list anymore, because it's only the double corridor, so we can get rid of Undasta for an 8/8. So, best case scenario, this 8 somehow does not hit our face because of the free agent. That's not super likely. He could have Spring Paw, Link. No, he already used Lynx. He could have that. Oh, and he had Archers too. Okay. So we're taking a lot of damage this time. That's not good. We actually are dead almost always. But we can go with a Fungal Mancer. We can trade 8/8s. So he runs Kill Command, but Kill Command kills us even if he doesn't have a beast with the hero power. So I think that the best play is to go like this and jam face for 9. So this gives us potentially, you know, if he doesn't kill us this turn, it gives us a chance, because we got the 9 damage in, to find lethal next turn. It's not particularly likely, but... Oh, actually we needed a taunt minion off that, we just lose. Well played. Interesting. So, I'm really missing the defensive tools in this list. But now that I know that Tavern Brawl is Brawliseum, what we're gonna do, we'll play, you know, probably like 4 or 5 games with each list, see how they feel. We'll create our own list, and then we'll go into the Brawliseum, most likely, and test our list out in there. That seems like a fun challenge, yeah. But so we'll just keep chugging along with this list. I don't think it's particularly good. It's lacking a lot of the control options that you kind of need. And also, like, against a control deck, the Thunderhead Voltaic Burst package with Zaps doesn't do that much. So it loses to aggro because you have no AoE, and it loses to control because then you're running these little shitty cards. So I'm not particularly enthused by Jackie's invention here. This is okay. This is like pretty good. We get to test out how well Voltaic Burst and Flame Tongue feels, and we get to test out a former champ on probably a coined out, so we can go coin 4 and then 5. That could be incredibly powerful. Especially because he's not doing too much this turn. Okay, so we're going to take the turn just a totem. Next turn, if he plays any minions, we can go Voltaic Burst Flame Tongue. If he doesn't, we can just go like Fire Elemental Totem and set up for coin former champ. And we're looking for Healing Totem because he could very easily have a swipe. Ooh, Big Bad Voodoo is really good. Nice, we hit the Healing Totem. That makes his swipe go from clearing our board to clearing only 1 minion, so fairly big deal. Because I'm afraid of swipe, I might not coin former champ. I will probably just coin fungal this turn in between here. Yeah, I like that. We can set up for like a turn 7 play with former champ and Big Bad Voodoo. We're threatening a very wide board with our Bloodlust, so this I'm feeling pretty good. He could run Spreading Plague. Spreading Plague would be bad, but at least we have Flame Tongue with a ton of Voltaic Burst 1/1s, so we can just jam those in. So that's kind of a read that he doesn't have Spreading, because he's allowing us to trade in if we want to. What do I like here? I think I'm okay with just former champing. I kind of like trading in too. Yeah, I like this. So, we missed out on a little bit of face damage, but we get to try to keep both of these alive so we can Big Bad Voodoo the 1/1. And getting a 5/5 is really strong. We also played around spreading a bit with this, so that's pretty good. So this kills one by itself. We can actually go off with like a Thunderhead play this turn, because we can go Thunderhead. So, yeah. So next turn we'll get a Big Bad Voodoo, the 5/5 most likely, but this turn we kill this off, so we can play Thunderhead. Ooh, I messed up. We don't have enough board space because this summons 2, and then we would need 3 board slots. In that case, I'm gonna deal 2 here. Gonna deal 1, 3, and this is really bad positioning. Oh, is that even worthwhile? That's such a bad spot for that to be. I think we're just gonna do this turn. So, that felt pretty bad. We're still in a really good spot, but we misplayed that turn fairly heavily. Ooh, plus attack. That's a little scary. He's gonna start doing some trades. That's Spellstone. Okay. Well, at least now we're gonna have board space for our Flame Tongue and our Voltaic bursts, so that's not too bad. And then hit that, yeah. Okay. This is a manageable position. I don't feel too bad about this. What do we draw off the top? Serenite. Okay. So we're just gonna go Voltaic. We have enough board space just to make sure we don't mess up positioning again. Here we go. So 3, 3, 3. We don't have. Let's see what totem we roll. Maybe we get healing. Nice. So that means that we go like this, and hit like that. Cool. So we could have played around swipe a little bit more by trading this instead of that. That was a slight misplay, but he just went Lich King, so it's okay. And then we already have a clear on it. Do we have lethal with Bloodlust? So we have 5, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 28. I think that's exact lethal. So we're going to go for it. We trade this in. Oh, we also get the +2 here, so I think this is lethal. Yep. And we have the +2 from the Flame Tongue on the 10-5. Nice. So, in that game, we didn't, require AoE tools. We were able to get through the Spreading Plague without something like a Lightning Storm, which I'm not sure how likely that normally is, but it worked out fairly well. This list is also not running any hard removal. This list is very, all in on the aggressive Bloodlust plan, even though it only runs one Bloodlust. This probably needs some more defensive tools. Maybe, a Lightning Storm, a Hex to go with our Zentimo, some stuff like that. But that game felt really good for us. So against Warlock, we're expecting Zoo, so we'll keep a Zap. If we get a Thunderhead, that, can be a good swing. Oh, we found Bloodlust. That's not quite what we're looking for. That's okay, though. So we have Mana Tide. We have an Unstable. Our hand's not good, per se, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Okay, so we're against a Disco, most likely Zoolock. Ooh, Primal Fin on 2. That makes our hand a lot better, because at least we're able to put out a little bit of pressure and trading power. Along with our Zap, this can kill, something that comes down like a Succubus. He got rid of a Howl Fiend, okay. So, ooh, I really like this. I don't believe that these lists run like Defile. I could be wrong. I think I know his exact list. Actually, I can pull it up. But this feels really strong. Let's see. If I can pull up his list. I think this is Flurry's Quest Lock. Yeah, this is looking like Flurry's. So he runs Hellfire. He does run Defile. So we have to worry about that. But this is just really, really powerful. His Defile currently doesn't have a 2 health, so I'm okay extending in with this. This is worse versus Hellfire. But maybe we'll get lucky and draw a Corridor Creeper. Ooh, Krag'Wa. Krag'Wa's okay. Krag'Wa's really good. It allows us to get a million unstable evolutions. Just not Hellfire? Okay, he had the Hellfire. That's alright. Return all spells you played last turn. So we're going to play that next turn after we buff this guy up. Ooh, do I want a Mana Worm? That might be worthwhile. We'll do this, and then next turn we can Krag'Wa and just get these on unstable evolutions back. Dang, that's really good. Do I just want that? Oh, I think that's good enough. How can this be? That was pretty strong for just going off with a Firefly. Solarium. Okay. So he's most likely getting some quest progress this turn. I can't imagine his hand is so dead that he did that just to try and find an answer. This also, the Shadow Ascendant allows this to live through the second Hellfire. Okay. Oh, well, he's out of Hellfires, so he only has 2 Defiles left for clears. And I think they run 1 Cataclysm. What did he lose? A Shriek. Oh, it runs double Shriek. And now he has High Priestess deck lick, but he has 2 of it. So that quest is going to be completed fairly soon, which is a little scary. This turn we're just going to play Krag'Wa. We're going to get 3 unstables. 2 unstables? I thought we played 3. Firefly, unstable. Oh, no, okay, 2. But that's fine. This hitting this is also very good. Helps against the Defile. So... Ooh, he's going to have to use multiple removal tools on that. He also... Oh, he got rid of the Soulfire. Oh, that feels really bad for him. So if this lives, if he doesn't have the Defile... nice. So we're just going to be able to go... like, off with Unstable buffing this to kill that. With a Former Champ this turn. So Former Champ. Make a 6 mana card. 6/5 is okay. I think I'm going to go for a 7. Okay, that's fairly equal. And then I may as well trade in here. This is also setting up for a Corridor, and we have another Unstable in hand and another Unstable in deck. So this is kind of like the dream situation for this style of deck. You just want to multiply your Unstable Evolutions with Krag'Was. Okay, so he had Cataclysm. So he only has Jeklicks in hand. What else did he get rid of? He got rid of a Soul Warden. Let's see. And a Defile. So he only has 1 Defile left. So I think we're just going to go off with making this guy really big. Seems good to me. He's going to start playing Jeklicks next turn. Ah, Ysera. You're good. And then we'll get a 6-drop out of one of these as well. Ooh, 2/7 is really good at dealing with these. It might be worth just full take, bursting 1 down. We can go for a 6-drop. Or a 5-drop if we want. I think I'm just going to go for the high roll. No, because this could be really good with Sparks. Oh. Okay, we're going to Spark this turn. We could save this for next turn when we have Bloodlust. But I like the fact that currently on board, he has no Soulfires left. He can only get through like this. And then that protects both of these. Laughing Sister is very meh. Not really what we're looking for out of our Ysera. At this point, we're looking for stuff like Fungal Mancer, Zentimo, Big Bad Voodoo, Flame Tongue Totem. A second Unstable is okay. Full Take Burst is okay. Mana Tide is pretty good. So we have a couple good draws in our deck. Alright, so it's going to be 2 Jeklicks, that's fine. That animation is pretty cool. And then he gets 2 of these guys. So again, this is a situation where we have no defensive tools, so that could come back to bite us. Nice, Taunt Totem. Taunt Totem might be able to protect our 5/4. Because he has to go 1, and then he only has enough. We got another Laughing Sister. He could have a Shriek and a Defile left for AoE. He has 2 Jeklicks. Thunderhead could be fairly strong if we get, you know, a Voltaic Burst or a Zap. He runs Godfrey? I didn't know Godfrey was in that list. Damn. And he high rolled on the Jeklick. It wasn't really a high roll, it was a 2 for 3, but... Dang, this deck's really powerful. Game's not over. It's pretty close to over, but it's not over yet. Dang, this is really really powerful. Oh god. Okay. At this point, the game is most likely over. Um, he just had like lots of AoE answers to what we did, which for his deck is, he runs 7 AoEs. Um, but he got the ones that he needed exactly when he needed. I didn't even know Godfrey was in that list. That's really powerful. That that list is incredibly strong. Um, I'm gonna give Jackie's list one more try, and then once Jackie's list is, once I feel we've given it, 4 or 5 games, we can move on to the next list. I'm not super liking his list, so hopefully we'll try one that has more of a defensive shell with AoE tools, maybe a Shutterwalk finisher, because this all-in game plan is not really working for us. We're against a warrior, so warrior can either be odd warrior. There's some tempo warriors going around with Zhao's list. There's a Mechathune list that came up, so this could really be anything. This hand is not particularly great. This list is really weird to me because we're trying to be super aggressive with Bloodlust and tokens with Thunderhead and stuff, but we only have one drop. Because we'll take Burst, I don't really count as a 1-drop, so this list has a lot of issues. I'd be interested to see in how well his list did, like his stats for it, because this seems very lackluster. Okay, so it's Dragon Warrior. Interesting. This will be a very weird match. Playing this is pretty good, and then I really want to play Manatide next turn, so I'm hesitant to zap this, but I'm going to just to try and protect our Primal Fin. That, if it ends up biting us, is definitely a mistake in this game, but I think that that's a decision that I'm okay with. Because if this Primal Fin goes off, if we get like a Flame Tongue, that's a lot of damage, a lot of trading potential. I see a vision. Okay, this is really, really strong now. So we'll just double trade here. And now we have 2 Primal Fins that are going to keep going off. So this essentially puts him on a needs to AoE clock. We basically don't want to play anything. Former champ. So, I'm going to play this out. There's something to be said for hitting these in, just because he might have a Whirlwind effect. He already used coin, so he can't coin out the Dragon Moss Scorcher to clear all of our 1/1s. So he needs like a Whirlwind or a Warpath or something like that. Getting unstable is very good for us if this board, somehow survives. Scale Worm, okay. Interesting list we're against. He's clearing 1/1s instead of totems, which is really good for us. I'm not quite sure why he did that. I'm okay with just trading these in, turning one of these totems into something big. Yeah. And then next turn we can set up for a Krag'Wa. So just do this trade. Turn one of our totems into something large. That doesn't quite count. That also doesn't quite count. Nice. Nice. Okay, that's not too bad. So we could have done a lot of damage if we had done this pre-trading. I'm not sure if there was a reason not to do it pre-trading. I just kind of did trades instinctively. So that might be a little lesson to learn, is that sometimes you want to evolve before you trade. But this 5/8's pretty strong. And then next turn we get 5 of these back. So our hand is going to be pretty full with unstables, and then we can just try and go off. This list heavily relies upon this combo coming like on turn 5 or turn 6. Without this, you don't have much game versus a lot. Okay, so we get a trade there. I'm okay with that. And we're just gonna Krag'Wa. Ooh, we get a Thrall too. Okay. This is setting up to be real strong. So this is the like win condition of Jackie's list. The problem is you can do this with any of the lists that we're doing because they all run Krag'Wa and Unstable Evolution. So I think that his list is just not refined enough. But this feels really good. This is like incredibly powerful. He has two big threats he wants to deal with, so that's a little scary for him. He's gonna take out Krag'Wa, okay. Ah, Ziliax. Well, at least we got the 2 extra face damage in for no good reason. Oh my god. So, 3, 4. I like this, so we're gonna go... This might not actually be that strong, but I really want to do it, so we're gonna do it anyway. So we're gonna unstable you. Wait, I just did an unsent Teemo too, I didn't mean to do that. Oops, I messed up a little there. I meant to do it on this one, that's why I placed it over here. Oh no, that was so bad. Okay, I think that we just threw this match away. That was so bad. Why did I do that? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, it's not it's not all over. We have we have former champ into unstable evolution. Oh god, that was so bad though. Oh no. That was like the worst thing I think I've ever done. Oh man. Alright, well we got the zap. The zap is good for clearing out the Ziliax as well, so 3-4 is not what we're looking for. 4-4 is not what we're looking for. Oh my god, another 4-4. That's okay. At least this one gives us more things to keep unstabling. Oh man. That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. So if he wants, he can give us some 2-2s. That's good if he's setting up AoE, I guess. Even with that misplay, we're not in like a horrible position. These just give us so much game. I think these are 4 mana 2-2s. Unless I'm wrong. 3 mana 2-2s, okay. That's fine, so we'll just go bang bang and start unstabling these. I can play this if I want. That might just be worthwhile. Yeah. No, because I like having the totem in case we really need something unstable. Or die. Or both. Oh god, Grawl. Oozling doesn't do anything. Starliner's okay. Ah, there we go. There's something that we're, you know, actually kind of happy with. Charge damage. 4-4. I think our typical 6-drop sort of that. Yeah, 6-6. Nice. So that worked out pretty well for us. Getting that Splittering Fester route was not as bad as it seemed. It's actually better for us that he traded into that. I think if I were him, I might have considered not taking the 4 damage and putting that in, because that would have required us to somehow find a way to kill it. Because then we would have only had 1 big threat, instead we have 2. So that might have been a misplay on his part, since he didn't clear any of the little sapperlings. It would have made sense if he also was able to kill those 2-2s, because then all those the 1-1 tokens are just 1 mana. But I think just setting us up to have multiple threats was fairly bad. I'm still annoyed that we messed up that Zentimo play. I was so hyped for that. Okay, this came from Fire Tree. Nice, a 6-6, that's okay. Alright, so there is nothing that gives us lethal. I don't think. Bloodlust ain't enough. But he runs this? He runs Weapon Project? Okay. Interesting. So I'm gonna totem. I'm going to hit. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna turn this into a threat. We can set up for this next turn. Into dislocation. Scale Bane's really good. So I'm now going to turn this into something bigger. That's fairly good. And I'm just going to Big Bad Voodoo this guy. Nice. So even with our misplay, we were able to bring that back. Again, I don't really think it was because of this deck. I do like the former champ. That's what I've learned from this list. But I think we do need more defensive options. So I think it's time to go and look at another list. So I'd say, you know, Jackie's list, I think it's a little too fair. I don't think that the Thunderhead Voltaic Burst Zap package is worthwhile. I do think it might be worth just considering Voltaic Burst and Flame Tongue. But Thunderhead, we can take out, put in some more defensive tools, and I think that will make the list overall stronger. So we're going to try already used list next. His is a more Shutterwalk focused list, as you can tell. It has Serenites to duplicate your Shutterwalk when it battle cries, and then you can buff it up with Fungal Mancers. It also will summon 5/5s with the former champ, so that's actually an interaction I hadn't considered before. That's pretty strong. It's a Keleseth list, so we lose out on Flame Tongue and, you know, some important tools like Primal Fin Totem, but that should be okay. The only thing from this list that I would consider changing off the bat is I want to fit a Bog Slosher into any list that is running the Shutterwalk, because it's a 1 or 2 card change, which allows our Shutterwalk to potentially become a super late game threat, because not only can you do it once, but you get more copies over and over again. It's not as good as Grumble, because you don't get the 1 mana copy, so you can't do it twice in the same turn, but it means that you have a chance to go infinite with Shutterwalks. So I like RDU's list. I don't have that much intention of changing it. It has some defensive tools in Lightning Storm, Ziliax, Hagatha. I'm going to switch out one Tar Creeper for a Bog Slosher, just to start out, because I think any list that's running Shutterwalk should be running Bog Slosher, but whenever we draw it, we'll just pretend, you know, we'll consider the fact that it could have been a Tar Creeper and see which would have been better. This shouldn't affect the the decked list too much consistency-wise, because we already have another Tar Creeper in there. But you know, Jackie's list we didn't change at all. We were just testing. You know, I probably should give RDU's list the same treatment. But I'm a little antsy to try out this Bog Slosher tech. So credit where credit is due. It's RDU's list if you switch out one Bog Slosher for one Tar Creeper. This list, or this opening hand, is not particularly good. We have a lot more 1-drops in this list than we did in the previous list from Jackie, which I like. And then we also have the chance to, you know, high roll Keleseth, so I think that this list has a lot more game versus something like Odd Warrior, simply because we have Shutterwalk, and we teched in that Bog Slosher to potentially have it go infinite, so I think we made a very good choice, changing the list around a little bit. So we could go Totem, or we could do Fireflies. We do run Kalamos, so it might just be worth considering, since the one mana 1/2 isn't going to put a lot of pressure on an Odd Warrior. For now, we can just hold it back and make sure that we have something for Kalamos, or at least, you know, we can just chip it in when we have mana. So like here, I don't mind just dropping one of these. If we just fill our board with totems, you know, he might feel scared for some reason to AoE. Fungal's pretty good. So this is looking pretty strong. If we get an Evolve effect, then because he's most likely going to AoE after we Fungal, these will cost 2, and then if we get, is it worth Kelesething over Fungal Mancering this turn? No. I like just trying to push the damage. This most likely baits out an AoE, and this board is fairly, you know, innocuous. It doesn't really matter. So if this baits out AoE, that's really good for us, and we're only missing 1 hit. Ooh, he just set up that, okay. So I'm just gonna play Keleseth and not extend anything else into this board. I'm not gonna totem just in case he does brawl, we might still have a threat. And this is now, you know, getting to the point where it's threatening enough to potentially brawl. Reckless Flurry? Okay. So that's one Reckless Flurry down. They run 2 of those. They run double Shield Slam. These now cost 1, which is pretty good for us. Okay. I'm just gonna play this. I'm not sure how correct this is, but it seems okay. It sets up the battle cry for our Shudderwalk. We already have good evolve targets, so we don't need this for the evolve. So I feel pretty good with this. Tortolan Defenders. What do we want to do here? We could just double trade and set up Hagatha. The hero power for totems is not really going to be relevant this game. The random spell generation might be better. Oh, Stonehill, okay. I do kind of like having this 5/5 alive though. His deck will most likely run like double dragons. Oh, he doesn't. He's odd. He doesn't have Dragon's War. But I'm considering hexing this. I'm not sure how good or bad that is. I'm not sure what Odd Warrior runs for threats. I wonder if we can pull up a list really quickly before our turn ends. Warrior. Oh shit. Odd Dragon Warrior, probably from Shao. Let's pull that up. Do you run big threats? Oh, you run a shit ton of big threats. Okay. We're just gonna do this, and we'll clear the board. That's fine. Now we're gonna be generating infinite spells with all of our minions. So, let's see if this is actually Shao's list. It's looking like it. Super Glider. Everything he's played is in this list, so. Okay, so Bog Slasher, that's really good. We want to get that out. So I think I'm going to start with Ziliax. Ooh, we got Big Bad Voodoo, so we're just going to Big Bad Voodoo this. I'm okay with just doing this, and I'm actually just going to Glacial Shard him, so that he can't Super Glider into like that and trade it. Ooh, we're getting some good spells this game. So we're going to hopefully save Bog Slosher for a Serenite to try and double up the chances that with our Shudderwalk we do multiple Serenites and then Bog Slosher it. Oh, we got an 8/8. That's really strong. And then this with these is incredibly powerful. I think that might just be our play next turn, is to go Corridor, this. Okay, so Dragon Maw and then Lancer. Coin armor? Is that really what you're going to use your coin for? Okay. I don't think that's incredibly powerful, but you do you. Fungal. So, we don't get the evolves off on these ones, but we can do it later. So I'm gonna go Corridor. Give them all stats. Spirit Echo them all. And then I'm gonna Rock Biter my face to kill his Lancer. So, we're not, even if he kills everything, we aren't overdrawing. And we get all these back. This is a crazy game. I'm really glad that I've been able to record this. This is a good highlight of Aggro Shaman over the other one. I don't think that the other list would have been able to do something like this. Also, the other list wouldn't have nearly as much game because we don't have the Shudderwalk, Bog Slasher, Serenite combo. So this is like the perfect matchup to showcase why I think that this list is overall stronger. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that idea. So potentially a brawl. Oh, just playing a Baku. Okay. So there's the unstable. I kind of like just going fungal again. Sure. Yeah, we'll do this. Just to get it out of our hand. Then I'm going to trade this one off. And trade this one off. Do I want to try? 6 damage is a lot. No, because we want to try and bait him into using, like, removal. Like, brawls, reckless flurries. So that when we eventually Shudderwalk, he won't have it for that. This is pretty good versus brawl. It's a 50-50 if he goes for the Super Collider. Oh. That... I think he forgot that I get a totem. Because now he has to use a Smolderhorn Lancer that he didn't want to use. Oh, or Devastate. He runs Devastate? I don't think this is the Shao list then. Yeah, this is not the Shao list. Let's see if it's this random Viper list. I don't know who Viper is, but... Alright, it's not Viper's list. It doesn't run Devastate. Is it Monsanto's? Is it Trump's? It might be Trump's. Nope, it's not Trump's. I don't know what his list is. Interesting. So I'm just going to start with a Serenite, just because it's a big dude. That's, you know, fairly okay. I'm just going to Lightning Bolt trade this. And then I'm just going to get this spell out of hand by buffing this guy. It might bait out a Shield Slam, so that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I actually have no idea what odd list he's running, but it seems, you know, fairly okay for him. This is a very interesting match. I think getting this Hagatha out early was the best play, because those spells have given us so much power. Oh, Rip Totem. Okay. Thrall. You know, bud, I might not play you this game. I might not play you at all. I'm gonna... No, I don't want to go off because I want to get extra evolves with Krag'Wa. I think this turn, I'm just not going to do anything. Because I could go for a Corridor Evolve play. But I don't really want to get rid of my 5/5, is the thing. Because if I get something good off of a Corridor, then the rest just go on there. And also we can save this Unstable for the Krag'Wa the Frog. Is that dumb? He currently, his board is not threatening at all. We have a 5/5, which is fairly strong. I think that it's best just to pass. Interesting line, but I think it's correct. He has one more Lancer for an execute effect. He has a Reckless Flurry and double Brawl, most likely. So he has a lot of AoE. Okay, so I'm just going to start with this guy and see what spell we get. Wind Fury. That could be good later on. I'm also going to play this one out. How many cards are we at? 9? Yeah. Oh, no, wait, because that'll put us at 10. We have to play something else. So we don't want to play that one. I'm just going to hit for 5. And I'm just considering passing again. If we wanted, we could waste our Wind Fury, but I think late game that might be a big push. So I'm just going to save it. We're taking some really weird lines, but I like it. What's up, dude? Okay. Scorcher. Okay, so he's making a big board. Because he's going to get a Taunt minion. He's going to have a 3/6 and a 1/1. Ooh, we got Discover Mech. That's bad for us. Glacial Shard. So we are at 10 cards. So we have to play some things this turn. I'm going to start with just Glacial Sharding the Super Collider. So that if we develop more, it can't get killed. Ooh. Do we have Overload in our deck? We only have Overload through Storm, so this is at most summon one copy. So I'm going to do... My name is Robert. Hello. Hello, Rob. So we're gonna go for something with this. Oh. Okay. I like that. Say hello to another 7/7. And that'll go away, so we draw and we don't overdraw. So this used our Unstable Evolution, so we can't get more with Krag'Wa until we draw the other one. But this board's very threatening, and it might set up for a Brawl, which is something we're trying to get rid of. Because luckily we drew this Shard, because it meant that he can't Super Collider our Cauldrons. I've never seen Cauldron Elemental get this much value. This game's fucking crazy, though. We still have Zentimo in the list, so we can Zentimo Hex at some point. Oh, Crowd Roaster. That's really strong. So we wanted to use this Wind Fury later for offensive purposes, but we might just have to use it here to go trade. We're gonna start with this, just because we'll get a spell out of it, Stormbringer. Okay, so yeah, I think we're gonna have to use this for defensive purposes, because I really don't want to get hit for 7. And I'm gonna play this out again to try to bait AoE, or to just get rid of his board, and if it somehow lives, then we can go Stormbringer next turn, along with a Firefly. Hello. My name is... This is a weird conversation, but that's okay. It's literally in my name. Ooh, he got Dynamatic off Delivery Drone. That's really good for him. Okay, Laser Cannon doesn't really matter. Unstable, that's good. So, I could go for a Stormbringer play and get 2 legendaries. We don't have a lot of tokens in this list, so I think that might be okay. And we can just save the Bog Slosher. Is Krag'Wa an elemental? No, he's a beast. Oh my god, we got another one of these. Okay. Maybe I just save that. Maybe we just make 1 legendary, and then we save this for the Calamos. Do we have any other elementals in our list? No, we're out of elementals, so it's down to these 2. I think that's the play. We have 9 cards. We'll just make a legendary and see what happens. We got a Grawl. Wow. So there's been a lot of turns this game where we've made very, like, seemingly suboptimal plays. But we have to manage our hand size with Hagatha. We need to keep an elemental around for the Calamos. That might be our Hex target. Because it's kind of scary. Oh, hey. Hello, Calamos. So, Calamos is going to be our play this turn, actually. And since... Oh, we want to play this the turn we play Shudderwalk. Or the turn before we play Shudderwalk. Because then we'll get another Calamos invocation. So we're going to save that. We're just going to start with Calamos and see what we want to do. I think none of these are particularly powerful is the problem. I might just take the free AoE damage. We could go 1/1s and bait AoE, actually. I'm okay with baiting AoE with 1/1s. Ooh, Volcano's really strong. Because we can go, like, a Hex Volcano turn if he gets a big board. Oh, no, I'm so dumb, he had Kaboom. Oops. Oh, but he traded. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that didn't matter. This we can use for a Hex, or we can use it to go off if we get, like, our former champ. We can go Zentimo over here, start evolving. I think that's going to be our play. So, I think this turn we just need to waste a card, and we're going to have Zentimo Hex in case we need it, so I'm just going to waste this Volcano. And be totally okay with that. We're in a very good state. Tankmaster. Okay. Our only issue is that we might start dying. He's getting a lot of chip damage in with these kabooms and stuff, so that's a little scary. We have the unstable. We could go corridor this guy and make a big board. That doesn't seem right. We could waste a hex. That feels a little bad. That might just be the play. I think we just have to waste a hex in this position, because I don't want to take any chip damage and we don't want to overdraw. I could just play this and then play whatever spell it gives me, or waste the spellstone. Maybe that's better. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just waste both of these. So we have 2/1/2 taunts. This opens up our hand a little bit, so if we don't draw well, we can just keep passing. He also has to use a card this turn. Devastate, okay. So he's keeping hold of his Super Glider charge. God, he keeps getting cannon, dude. That's so bad for us. I think we just rip this to kill his guy. And then we pass. We're basically looking for Serenite, Ooze, and Krag'Wa. Oh my god, he keeps getting the damage ones, dude. That's so bad for us. I think we just have to hex this. And pass. So, we're saving this for Serenite. We're hoping to get Ooze to kill his Super Glider. Okay, so he's hitting us. He's going to play another one, probably. Yep. 1/1s. That's not super scary. Lightning Storm's like the worst. I think we're just going to play this out. Maybe we don't need... So, yeah. No, because he has... Oh my god, this is such a difficult game. We're going to pass. So, we could have gone off with former champ Zentimo unstable this turn, but he has Super Collider, but we have an Ooze in our deck to deal with his Super Collider. Oh, we had to waste a Brawl. Nice. Keep the taunt. Damn. Well, it's just a 1/1. That's not that big a deal. Health is not the issue. Krag'Wa, okay. Turn all spells you played last turn. So I think now that we have Krag'Wa for more unstables, I'm okay going off with this. Oh shit, we're at 10 cards. Oh, I didn't consider that. Jesus, okay. I'm gonna use this. I guess we just save Zentimo forever. We're gonna unstable this guy. That's not good because it gets hit like that. That's not good. Wow, that went really poorly for us. That's unlucky. At least he'll have to take a little bit of face damage to clear. We're basically just looking for the Serenite, so we can go Serenite, Bog Slasher, Serenite, Serenite, and then play Shudderwalk. This game would have been so much better for us if we had gotten one of these Serenites before the bottom 3 cards. Because we could have gone off, because now Fatigue is a... Okay. So, he's a Mechathune, which is not what I was expecting. So that means we need Hex for Mechathune, which is bad, because we don't have a way to deal with this currently. So we're going to go Serenite at first, and maybe get a Hex. That's not a Hex. Okay, so we're going to Bog Slosher it, and get a spell, and maybe it's Frost Shock? Sure. I can just waste that. want to hit here so he can't Super Collider. That might be better. And then I'm just going to play this out because we don't have any unstables anymore to get a spell. Burst. Okay, burst could be good. Then we can also get a burst back with Krag'Wa. And we still saved the Hex for Megathune. So we didn't even know we were playing against Megathune. Wait, he's odd. He doesn't have Megathune. What is this deck? I'm so lost. Wormguard, okay. So we can just Antimo Hex this. Because I don't think he's going to have anything scarier than that. Yeah. So Zantimo. Hex. Oh, and we can Ancestor Spirit everything. Cool. That worked out fairly well. Jesus, this is a match for the centuries. Okay, so that's fine. So, if we play Krag'Wa, we get a Hex and a Ancestral Spirit, which we can then Ancestral Spirit again. But we're starting to take fatigue, so we have to go off with Shutterwalk soon. Which means we have to play the Serenite, so that we have extra Serenites for our potential infinite Shutterwalks. Oh good, he brawled, okay. Oh wow, he won that. And then that has Rush. Okay. So we're gonna go 4-3-3 this turn. 4, 3. And we're gonna kill this. Oh, we can kill it with Lightning Bolt so that we can still Shutterwalk next turn. Good for us. Oh my god, that Bloodlust is huge. So next turn we almost guaranteed have to Shutterwalk because we just have to go off. And then that'll give us 2 Fireflies. So our hand's at 8. It goes into 7, 8. So we get 2 of those. Oh, shit. So we have to wait one more turn. King Mosh. Oh my god. Okay. So we have to wait one more turn. So we're gonna play Taunt Minions to stay alive. Oh my god, okay. I guess we're gonna do it. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. That doesn't quite do it for us. That doesn't quite do it for us. Yikes. Alright. So hopefully he can't kill our Serenite so the 9 doesn't hit face. If the 9 hits face, we might just lose. Fuck. So we're taking 10 and then some fatigue. So I think we lose now. So he got Zap Cannon too, yeah. I don't think this has any way to heal us, but we're gonna play it and see what happens. That's really strong. Yeah, so Kalmos didn't give us anything because we didn't play an Elemental. Ooze doesn't hit, that doesn't help, that doesn't help. And we got that instead. Dang, that's gonna be game. That was super cool though. I think that if you're playing Evolve Shaman, you need to have a Shutterwalk win condition. It's just so strong. It was our only out that entire game. It's unfortunate what happened there, but like that was a much stronger showing than any of the Jackie Chan games were, even the games that we won. I want to buy a pack because we just happen to have the gold impromptu pack. Woo. Dang. Alright. We're gonna try this list again. This list seems really good. I'm feeling this list a lot more than I'm feeling the Jackie Chan list, so that's good. We had a lot of game there. I liked the Bog Slosher. It it took out for a Tar Creeper. A Tar Creeper in that matchup would not have changed anything. Um, and it gives you a chance for an Infinite Shudderwock, because this version with the former champ also summons 5/5s. So as we saw last game, we got one of those in hand instead. Um, but Frozen, I think former champ is maybe worth keeping in. We could also try a version without former champs, going for the same game plan of Bog Slosher to get infinite Shudderwocks um, in this kind of mid-rangey style. But former champ's really good for the mid-rangey style. So against a priest, um, I have no idea what priest would be playing. Priest, I didn't unpack any of the legendaries for, so I haven't played at all. Um, I saw that Inner Fire Priest is a thing again, so it might be Inner Fire Priest. We're just gonna pass until we can Tar Creeper up against that, because I don't want him drawing cards. So it might be Inner Fire Priest. There's also a Murloc Priest going around, but this obviously doesn't look very much like Murloc Priest. So that's unlucky that he had that. This can roll 1/1, which would give him a free card. I think we just pass. Damn, that last game was so cool. I'm really glad that that game got recorded / streamed, because that was real interesting. That was an amazing showcase of his deck, the RDU deck. It is unlucky that it didn't work out for us, but jeez, man, what a game. That's one of the best games I think I've played all year of Hearthstone. Okay, so we have a Hex. Zentimo Hex in this matchup, depending on what kind of priest he is, could be very important. I kind of like rolling for a totem and hoping to get spell damage. We didn't get spell damage. So in this case, we can try to high roll both of them, but that's probably not the best play. So I'm just going to play this 2/3 out and do nothing. So he's going to draw a shit ton of cards, but there's not a lot that we could have done to prevent this. Unfortunately. Duskbreaker. Yikes. Okay. So, again, we're just going to roll for spell damage to hope to maximize chance of killing the Duskbreaker, but that has to die, because we don't want him drawing cards. We high rolled anyway, so that worked out fairly well for us. Alright, so Priest is not going to be playing a weapon, so we can just ooze and not feel too bad about it. Okay, that's, not that important. I don't really know why he cared so much about that. See, I want to hex that. The problem is I don't know what's in his deck, so he could have something much stronger, like just waiting for me. I think I'm just going to take the turn to go former champ Unstable Evolution. It's a bit of a tame Unstable Evolution, but I like it. And I think I'm just going to turn this into a 4-drop because I like having the taunt. Ooh. Okay, so Thunderhead when it's not in your deck, pretty good. Because next turn we can go Lightning Storm and try to make something happen with those Voltaic Rushers. These Sparks. God, this deck just feels so much better than the other list. I think if you're going for the Evolve style, you don't want to be playing a lot of tokens. If you're going tokens, you want to just go all out aggro. Going with some of the Evolve stuff that list was attempting to do seems a little bit weak. Mass Hysteria, maybe? Oh, Anduin. Okay, okay. That's not good. That means our Kalamos is most likely going to have to heal us. I think at this point, this is scary, so we might just want to Hex it, and then kill this. I'm just going to Totem. Fairly weak turn, but it looks like we're just going to be against like a Burn Priest, so we have to be very wary about our health, so him getting in those 4 damage with the Twilight Drake could be very impactful. We're essentially looking for Ziliax, Hagatha, and Kalamos from our list. Giggling Inventor. Okay. So, we're just gonna Lightning Storm. We may as well hit first. There's not a big difference in hitting first or last, but now we just trade in here. Play out a Firefly, play out a Totem, and this is our last unstable evolution, so we want to try, if we can, to save that for Krag'Wa. And then we're still just looking for Hagatha, Kalamos, stuff that gives us either armor or healing. Those are essentially the only things that matter at this point. It is good for us that he's using these as board control tools, though, instead of hitting our face. Hey, we found the Krag'Wa that we were talking about. That's perfect. So we can just go off with Unstable this turn, and then next turn Krag'Wa. My jaws that bite. I have you in here, dude. I don't need you. So now we're just gonna go... Ooh, that could have been bad. We're gonna go like this. Where are my trees at? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming back so far. 6. So our hand is just gonna be full of them, but that's fine. Oh, that's so useless. I'm actually gonna coin to get rid of that. A 5/5 is better than that elemental that we were never gonna be able to use. Well, okay, that was kind of dumb because we're gonna Krag'Wa next turn and we could have just unstabled it again anyway. But yeah, that was a slight misplay, but it's not that big of a difference. So, God, Krag'Wa is so good with unstable though. We're gonna get a handful of them and potentially a coin. We might also mill the coin, but that's okay. The coin doesn't really matter. Ooh, okay. Shadow Word Death, unlucky. That's okay. Does he have another card so that he can actually just ping this down? Yep. Okay. Well, that Cleric doesn't draw cards anymore because he has no way to heal. He might run Divine him, but his minions are damaged, so... Corridor's good. So we're just gonna Krag'Wa. And get a million of these guys back. And we got our coin. Sick. So that doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll take a Gruul. Yeah, I'll take a Gruul. Potentially trades with his Primordial Drake, so... My initial thoughts about Evolve Shaman are, oh no. So we need to draw Kalamos. I actually don't think there's anything we can do. I think we're just dead next turn. But we'll do our best. We'll freeze here, trade here, and then go off. But we're most likely just dead to pings and Mind Blasts. But there's nothing we could have played here. We could have gone for Shudderwalk, I guess, but it doesn't really... It didn't do anything, so... And you thought you were lost. Okay. Well, that's good at least. We got to clear off that. Hadronox does not do a lot for us, so I'm just going to take a 10-drop. Another Mechathune. So we're most likely just dead to burst. One Mind Blast, and then another card kills us. Holy Smites kill us. That's probably what's going to happen. If it doesn't somehow, we're not in a good spot by any means, but at least we're not dead, so we have a chance at the game. I think that Evolve Shaman is just a little bit too fair for now to be good. I think if you're going for Shaman, you gotta go for like an OTK Shutterwalk deck. And, you know, that got some good tools with Bog Slosher and Zentimo and stuff, so that's a good deck. Yeah, that's gonna be a Mind Blast and then a well played. Oh. Ping, Holy Smite, ping, Mind Blast, okay, yeah. Dang. So, as much as I love this list and I love this archetype, I don't think it's super strong right now. I do feel okay, even though we only played 2 games with the already used list. They were very long and pretty impactful, so we were able to learn a lot. I'm going to move on to the next list so that we can get through all of them in a decent amount of time. So this is Dogs. It's a lot more aggressive. It runs the Voltaic Burst and Thunderhead that we were talking about earlier, but it goes more aggro, so it has Stormbringer to make use of the 1/1 tokens. It has Cult Master to draw in. You have Lickum for both board control and killing, and then you have Electra for like a double Bloodlust. So let's give Dog's list, you know, a couple games. So far, I feel the entire archetype is a little bit weak. It's a little bit too fair in the meta right now, but trying more of these aggressive lists might make it, you know, push it over the top. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I do like the looks of this list more than I liked the list of the Jackie Chan one that we started with, because they're doing very similar things, but the Jackie Chan one just seemed not as well thought out. This hand's very mediocre. I'm just gonna ditch all of it. There's something to be said for like Flame Tongue Lightning Bolt, but I don't think it's strong enough. This is kind of the case for keeping those, because now we have nothing playable. And then something I've noticed with lots of these lists, that's what I liked about RDU's list too, is it ran a lot of 1-drops. It ran like 5 or 6. These lists with Voltaic Rush only run Firefly. And so like your early game is just so hampered by the fact that you can't get out there on board. That's something you really need to do with Shaman, because your hero power is good if you maintain the board, but it's not that good at coming back, especially in these aggro lists, because you have no comeback mechanisms. You have no AoE, no Lightning Storm, no Hagatha, so I think that that's a fundamental issue with lots of these Evolve lists that people are running, is that they try to be aggressive and try to do like these tokeny Bloodlust things, but they run only 2 1-drops. Ooh, okay, that's gotta die. So, what's the best way to kill that? We can Lightning Bolt it, or we can go for spell damage Lightning Bolt, or we can play a Flame Tongue thing. I think just going for this for the high roll is better. We didn't high roll, but we get to just trade the 1/1, so. This is very obviously a list that is new, or is a homebrew, because I have not seen Untamed Beastmaster anywhere. So this should be cool. Get to see something a little bit new. Misha. Alright, so I'm just going to go Firefly Totem here. It's fairly weak, but it sets up for our Flame Tongue Voltaic Burst. We got a 1/1 Totem too, which is good with Flame Tongue, so I don't feel too bad about that. Scavenging Hyena, okay. Alright. Alright, so that's a 7-4 that we have to deal with. The only way we have to deal with that is to go with Voltaic Burst and this. So that has to be the play, because that has to die. Unfortunately, we can't play Cult Master along with it, but that's okay. So we go trade, trade. And I'm going to totem and play this guy out over here. So this is technically alive on board, because he used his links. Did he use his links? Yeah, he used his links last turn to trade off the board. So he needs something extra. Kill command, okay. That's bad, but fine. We can't play Krag'Wa, so we can't get our Voltaic Burst back. But I think this turn we're just going to go hard with Fireflies and Totems. Just make a board to set up for Cult Master. We don't run Kalamos, so we don't need to hold that back for Elemental Synergy. We should have also put this one over here for trading purposes with Flame Tongue, but that's okay. It's not that big of an issue, because this is still not dead on board. This is a list that it would most likely run Unleash the Hounds, so we have to worry about that as well. Ooh, is he just going to straight trade it? That's really good for us because this dies. He might not realize that dies, because I don't think I'd be taking that trade. Interesting. Okay. Okay, that's alright. Revenge of the Wild. Okay, this is really good. So we go Cult Master, Flame Tongue, trade, draw a card. That's pretty cool. Draw a card. Do I want to zap? I can keep this alive. Is this worth keeping alive? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's worth keeping alive. If we really want, we can Krag'Wa to get a zap next turn. That's fairly weak, but you know, if the situation calls for it. Flanking strike number 2, potentially a kill command number 2. Yeah, this is a weird list. I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but it doesn't seem awful. Okay, so there's the Hounds. Ooh, Revenge of the Wild with Hounds is pretty good. Yeah, there you go. That's a combo I hadn't considered with that card. That's pretty cool. So I can get a zap if I want, but I don't think that's worthwhile. We're probably just going to go Evolve this turn. Yeah. So, we're just going to go this guy. Do we want a 3-drop, or do we want to transform one of these? I think we probably just want a 3-drop. So we're going to go Totem, and then this. So we get a 9, a 4, and a 3. Ooh, that was a really good 3 to get. This 4 sucks. And then 9 drops stat-wise aren't particularly good, so a 5/8 is at least durable. So I'm not upset with that at all. Direwolf and Shaw. So I think at this point, his deck is just going to run out of steam because he's playing something really weird. I'm very surprised he's doing that. I would have probably killed off this 3/4, but that's alright. We can just start. No, because we want to evolve this, so we want to trade with this first. Okay, you concede. Yeah, so at that point, we have essentially infinite value, because whenever we play minion, we can just keep making it bigger, and we can make it bigger every turn after attacking, and he is completely out of cards. I think out of the 3 lists that we've played so far, you know, Dog's list that we just played was very well tuned to beat a weird deck like that. We had enough proactive plays to fight on board. Even though we only have the 2 1-drops, we were lucky enough to draw both of our Fireflies and get all those tokens out with our Flame Tongue. I think the Jackie Chan's list would not have been strong enough to take on that deck. It's just, it can whiff so often. And I think that the RDU list that we slightly changed would have been really strong too. So far I'm leaning away from the Jackie Chan list and into the other ones we played. Both of the other two that we've played seem much more effective in their own ways. So yeah, I feel pretty good about how last game went. It was against something very odd, so there's not too much to gain from it, but it means that we can beat jank, and part of what tells you if a deck that you're testing is at least decent or not is whether it can beat jank. Because if you can't beat weird shit, then you're not gonna be able to beat meta things either. So, um, Lickum is a card I have not tried. Lickum seems pretty good. Hmm, that's fine. So we're just gonna Lickum, kill that, and then next turn we can go like coin, Thunderhead, Zap if we really want. Oh, we got another Lickum. Interesting. Rastakhan's little emote there is pretty funny. His little sound. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. This is going fairly well. So he did not get all of them. Good to know. Um, I don't think it's worth coining this because it's just getting the zap value. I think I'm just going to totem and pass. Preferably taunt. Spell damage ain't bad. He might be scared of that. Might be scared enough to trade. So that's not too shabby. Ooh, okay, so this is where the Thunderhead zap comes in, like, really handy. If he goes +1/+1, that's best for us, because we get to kill that with zap. If he doesn't trade there. Okay, so Wind Fury does not matter. Alright. So we go Thunderhead. While you have overloaded mana crystals, does that count this turn? So, like, will I get this up to 3 attack or not? I'm not positive, so I'm going to kill this just in case. Okay, it does. So I take 1 extra damage, but if that interaction didn't work how I thought it did, because that's what seemed logical, if it didn't work like that, though, then we would have been in a really bad position, so I am okay with taking the 1 extra damage there. Spirit of the Lynx. Okay. So we're going to go big next turn. Ooh, Electra. Ooh, Earthen. Oh my god, Electra, coin, Earthen Might, next turn Krag'Wa? That seems real strong. Oh no! These things happen. Alright, so I misplayed, so I'm instead going to just, unstable twice. And then I'm gonna coin unstable again, because this one sucked. Okay. All in all, for a misplay, that turned out okay. We did the thing you're never supposed to do with Electro, which is Electro coin. So, that was unlucky. We've been making a lot of mistakes today, but it's okay. It's all in good fun, all in good testing. Okay, so he gets some 2/2s. Not particularly scary. He's going to summon his Lynx too. So getting this to a high health was really good. It does suck that we're going to lose this because of our misplay, but at least we have an Archmage. Archmage is not bad at all. And this turn we get to Krag'Wa because our Overload's going to be gone. Oh, wow. I wonder if some streamer just made this list that's running this, because this is really... I'm surprised to see this twice in a row. We have no way to overload, so we're going to do this, and we're just going to Krag'Wa to get coin and unstable and stuff. So, we're potentially going really low this next turn. That's okay. This list is more aggressive, so it doesn't have a lot of healing tools. But with the rush, you might want to trade. Just going wide. Is he trading? No, okay. So at this point, I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm gonna start with taking 2 trades. And then I'm gonna just go off with Unstable and see if we can get some taunts. Because we are not in a good position. Oh. That's potentially strong if we're alive. Oh my god, we rolled Void Lord. Holy shit. Okay. So we're gonna put that in there. And then start unstabling it to get more fireballs. And we might potentially get another, what's it called? Taunt. We did not. I'm just gonna cash in this 1 damage. So he needs Kill Command, or Silence. Those are the cards that kill us this turn. If we survive this turn, we're in a decent spot. Of course, we're still, you know, very low, so it's very easy for us to lose this game. But if he does not kill us this turn, we're in a fairly strong position. Getting Archmage off, that's really, really fun. Bear Shark does not do it. So, we have 5, 8, 11, plus 12, which is not lethal. We die to Kill Command no matter what. I like hitting here. Trading here is fine, just in case. Hitting here. And then I'm just going to go off with Unstables on this guy to try and get Ixlid. Oh, I milled my Unstable on accident. That's fine. We're just going to get 2 corridors, I guess. And then, like, fireball his face. So, this sets up lethal if we're not dead, because we can just double fireball. We are still dead to Silence, Kill Command. That is essentially it, I think. Nice, okay. So getting that Void Lord was the game-winning play. So it turns out Evolve Shaman is pretty good versus decks that don't have a lot of steam. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of decks without a lot of steam in the metagame. There's basically like Aggro Hunter, maybe Aggro Pally. That's about it though, because Predalate Pally has a shit ton of late game, so you need to run Zentimo Hex for that matchup. Death Rattle Hunter has a lot of late game, so that's difficult. Mage, most of theirs are late game, but also they have burst damage, which you don't have an answer for. So I think that although this list is doing pretty good right now, and it feels strong versus these weird hunter decks, I still believe that this archetype is not in the best of positions in the metagame to begin. But, you know, we're not in a bad position, so you never know. Alright, so we're against Odd Mage. They have quite a bit of late game, so this could be scary for us. But it should be a decent matchup, actually. We're not in, like, an awful spot off the bat, so. Nice. So we can set up Lickum here, because we are most likely going to go like a Thunderhead play soon. I like just setting this up. They might run the Ooze. That would feel a little bit bad, but that's pretty fringe. And it's a one-of if they do run it, because no one runs double Ooze, so we'll see how this goes. Black Cat. Interesting. So we're just gonna go with a Firefly and a this guy this turn. Get another Elemental. Fire Plume is really good. So next turn we're setting up for Thunderhead. Coin, Voltaic. We'll give this 3 attack. It'll give us some rush minions if he has a board. This is a really strong mid-game card. The lists that we're running don't have enough late game to support this engine, I don't think. So I think that when we go and test our own list, we want to make sure we have at least like 4, 6 1-drops. I really liked the setup that the RDU list had of double Firefly, double Glacial, and a Serenite Taskmaster. So I will probably start with that as our base. Interesting. Alright, so I'm actually going to hold off because we got this Fire Plume. We're just going to go like this because he doesn't have enough of a board for us to warrant Voltaic Burst. And especially now that we have Voltaic Burst and Flame Tongue and Thunderhead, that could potentially be a giant swing with the Rush minions into a big threat. We also have Hex, so we're looking pretty good. Unfortunately, our Cult Master will never survive because they can get pinged down with the 2 damage. So we can only play that on the turn that we're cashing in value. Not that, you know, typically you would do that anyway, but it could be important. Okay, so that was a fairly weak turn. I'm okay with just pushing damage, actually. Make him a little bit spooked. Maybe bait out a Dragon's Fury. Pyro. Okay, he didn't have the Daring Reporter guy, or the Daring Fire Eater to kill our Flame Tongue, so that's pretty strong for us. So, we can draw 2 cards with this. I'm pretty open to that, because our hand kind of sucks. So I like this plan. Fungal's very strong. Voltaic Burst again is really good. I think I'm just going to go wide with a Voltaic Burst, because this might force him into thinking that he has to AoE, and if he doesn't AoE, then we can set up a Bloodlust. So essentially he needs to have an AoE here, or he loses, which is good for us. And even if he does clear, our hand's okay. I would definitely not consider this a good hand, but it's very reactive in a very proactive deck, so not the worst, but definitely not as good as it could be. Okay, so it did bait out an AoE. Krag'Wa. So we can go off with our spells this turn, just because we can get them back next turn. So I'm okay with just like Hex. We can Voltaic Burst this turn to get it back next turn, because we don't really have a play next turn anyway. And there's not really spells in our deck that we want to get back. Like, we can go for more unstables, but this list isn't as evolve-y as the typical lists. We can go for an extra Stormbringer, but that's not particularly powerful. We're essentially, we just need to get a board so that we can Bloodlust, which we're not doing a very good job of at the moment, but we'll get there. Ooh, that's potentially scary. Okay. That doesn't do a whole lot, that just draws a card. The 1/1 is not particularly important. So, hopefully one of these lives, because we can just Krag'Wa, will be overloaded and we can trade for the Stargazer. That looks like what's going to happen good. And he's going to draw a card off that, I would assume. Oh, really? Interesting. I would have drawn that card for sure. So now we just take this free trade. And next turn we can go off with the Thunderhead and the Voltaic Burst and another Lickum, and we can have a good tempo turn. So I'm fairly happy about that. Ooh, that's strong. So that's leading me to a Hex turn, because these minions don't particularly matter. With Lightning Bolt, we can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, coin 10. That seems really good. So yeah, we're going to start here. Voltaic. Get a ton of those guys. Coin. We have to play this first, otherwise we don't get full value out of our rushers. So we kill that one. We kill that one. I want to Lightning Bolt you? Sure. And then kill that. And now we just have a board. So, again, if he does not have a clear, we win. If he has a clear, we kind of lose, because we put a lot of resources into this, and our hand is now empty. So let's see if he has a clear. No clear one time. He runs double Blast Wave, double Dragon's Fury, and a Flame Strike, because he already used one Flame Strike. Oh, that's the Blast Wave. Yikes. Alright, so that's going to be game. There's nothing we can do about that. Our deck does not have the staying power to outlast Odd Mage. You essentially have to just get there before they have their AoE tools. But again, because these lists are only running 1/1 drop, you don't have enough early game oomph to really make that push. So let's see. Board Control's Evolve list has the same issue. It does run the Corpse Digger package, which gives it some extra early game aggression. So this list, I still do want to try. Let's look at Asmodee's. Asmodee's list is so similar to the RDU list that I actually don't particularly care to test it out. It's super similar to this RDU list. It runs basically the same package. It has the same late game. It does have a little bit differences. It's probably more standard because it doesn't run the former champ and you know, the Serenite Taskmaster and stuff. But I think we're gonna try out Board Control's Evolve just to see how the Corpse Digger package feels, and then also the Rain of Toads. That could be interesting to see. And then we're gonna call it for testing lists. We're gonna take the elements of all the lists that we like, make our own, and then call it a day for this experiment. I think it's worth considering just separating these two archetypes, so there can be like Evolve Shaman, like the tokeny aggressive kind, more of like an Aggro Shaman, and then splintering off, making Evolve this like Shudderwalk Battlecry, not OTK, like mid-rangey version deck, because I think lots of these lists are like half measures towards both, and it's just not effective enough. So I think separating these two out into two separate ideas will make the entire exercise much more useful. So that's not particularly scary. We're expecting Zoo. Zoo is very popular right now, the discard lock. But he's not running Quest. So this could just be a control list, especially because he's tapping on 2. Getting Hagatha, if it is Zoo, is really good. We're just going to take this free trade with the Lickum. Lickum. This card's a lot stronger than I first thought. Looking at it pre-release, I thought it was just going to be awful, even though it has the obvious ties to, like the obvious old card of Spirit Claws to look at to see that it was strong. I didn't see it working out, but it's been a real good card. Okay, so that's gonna be, oh, it's a big ass Happy Ghoul. Yikes. Yikes. So Spirit is very strong here. That's gonna be our play. We're gonna take this free trade here. And most of the time, this will have to trade in here, and we can just Lightning Bolt it next turn. So that Spirit Wolf card was very important here. He found the Keleseth super early. That's unlucky for us. I would suspect he does not trade in here. It's good for him if he does, but okay, so he did. That's okay. So we have a Serenite. With that being said, I kind of like Earthen Might to keep this alive. Lightning Bolt this, trade there, because then we still set up for a Serenite next turn because the Overload won't matter, and we get to keep a threat on board. And so we're definitely in the defensive seat currently, because he's Zoo and we have Hagatha, but maintaining board position is pretty good. So I feel fairly okay about this. Especially, we have this to trade into whatever he plays. See, that's pretty good. We get to play a Serenite. Oh, wow, actually... I kind of like going a second Earthen trading Totem, and then next turn we can set up the... We can set up 4/3 Serenites with the Flame Tongue, because currently if we played the Serenite here, he just gets free trades. That Healing Totem does not really matter, but it's not too bad. Okay, so hopefully he has a somewhat slow turn, no Soulfire. Good, he took that trade. That's bad, but fine, because they will die to our Serenite tokens. And that does not have enough damage to get through one of our Serenite tokens, so this worked out. Oh my god, we got a second one too. So this sets up to defend against the doubling imps, and then he can get the 2 in on like our healing totem or our face. But next turn we can do the exact same thing again if we want, and then we have Hagatha on 8. So Hagatha on 8 will most likely be very important. Yikes, that's bad. Ooh, he gets to kill the Flame Tongue too with that. That's real bad. This is fine though. As long as he does not have Fungal Enchanter, this still sets up to die to Hagatha. So we need something... We can't overload this turn. There's really no card in our deck that's super good here. A Corpse Taker or a Zilliax would be really good. But a lot of our cards we can't actually play because we can't be overloaded because we need to Hagatha on 8. Yeah, Alakir does not do a lot. I'm just going to play this out to, you know, see what he does. It'll help if he has Fungal Enchanter because it means he has to do more trades, and then we can set up for Hagatha on 8. So not too bad, not too bad. That's bad. that's probably going to be game, because our Hagatha no longer clears. So, we Hagatha, we go up to 17, we're going to take 8 plus 5, so that's 13, so we're dead to Soulfire Doomguard. And even if we live this turn, we're not in a good position. So, this is most likely done for. He had a very strong opener, though. Fungal doesn't do it. So not dead yet. Just very close. Okay. That most likely kills us. Leroy, Doomguard, Soulfire. Yeah, there's a Soulfire. That's unfortunate. If he didn't get that Grim Rally exactly when he did, then we had a chance, but that was really unfortunate. So, we'll give this list 1 or 2 more tries, and then, you know, go and figure out what we think is good, bad, and the other about this archetype. Fungal's okay. I like this hand. This is kind of, like, hopeful, because it's hoping that our Feral Spirits live, but, seems pretty good. Oh, it's Exodia Mage. Interesting. Okay. So we have a very slow hand here, but that's alright. So, I'm just going to play this out. One of them will most likely die to trades, but we don't really have another play in hand. And we drew a Corridor Creeper, which is really strong, because it'll start... Oh. What the hell? Missiles, okay. Wow, that worked out very well for you. That's unlucky. So this turn, the only thing we can really do is Earthen Might, so I may as well Earthen Might. Oh, we got the Unstable, that's really good for our Corridor turn. That's essentially going to be the turning point in this game, is if we get something big and they don't have a Polymorph or a Voodoo Doll. Ooh, this could get really strong. So, I'm just going to go with Thrall here, and we're going to set up to try and get a big swing turn with Zentimo, Corridor Creeper, and Unstable Evolution. Oh, oops. Missed 3 damage. Because I passed too fast. Dang, that's really strong. That's a randomly generated Blast Wave that then will get more randomly generated cards. So we just need a minion. Corpse Taker, good. Try and make that stick, because it has Divine Shield, Lifesteal, all that stuff. Okay, so our Corridor now costs 0, and he has a Tar Creeper. Let's see what we draw. Toads, that's the play. Because hopefully some of these will survive, and we can just go off next turn with the Zentimo and Unstable Evolution plan with the Corridor Creeper. Seam Surger doesn't do too much. He can kill 1. Yeah. So this is totally fine. Alright, so this worked out fairly well. I'm going to go with... Yeah. This has to be the play. What are these? 3? Because he most likely has a clear, so we have to go big this turn. So we'll take this chip damage. And then on the stable. That's really, really good. Okay. So now I'm going to coin. Because I want to... Oh, I misplayed. I shouldn't have put both of those into there. I want to lightning bolt this. And then I'm going to evolution this one to get 2 more evolves there. And I got to charge when I need to kill this. Nice. Oh no, I got Duskfall and Aviana, dude. No. That's so bad. Oh Christ. Alright. Well, let's see what that does to us. Shit. This is not looking too good for us. If it somehow lives, we get a free Fungal Mancer. But, I don't have a very, like, I don't expect this to live. I expect our entire board to somehow get wiped now that we got Duskfall and Aviana. Okay, so it's just a free Steam Surger. Just no AoE? One time? That doesn't do it? Just not AoE? That's a cool animation. I've never actually seen this card played. Okay, Frostbolt is fine-ish. That's also fine-ish. Oh, he's killing it. That's unlucky. That means our Fungal doesn't get to do as much as we'd want. So he completed the quest. But his hand is mostly random spells, so I don't think he has the combo yet. He also... Okay. How do we want to do this? I think we want to buff these. We want to play this here, trade the Aviana, hit for 5, and then evolve the Aviana. Nice. So this is a very intimidating board. I think that this deck runs Frost Nova and probably like Blizzard. So we'll see what happens, but these probably don't get to all go face. If they do, we kind of just win. Does he actually have a blast waved one? Okay, so he's trying to go off because he doesn't have a clear. So I guess we'll see if he gets there. I'm gonna be real pissed if he gets there off of a Molten Reflection from Blast Wave. That's so unlucky if that happens. Okay, looks like he stalled out a bit, so I think that this didn't go as well for him as he wanted. Extra turn? Yep. Alright, so he's got this to figure it out. Let's see if he can do it. That's pretty good. Alright. It all comes down to this. He needs another like 2 Molten Reflections and an Archmage Antonidas. Oh my god. It doesn't look like he has it. And then, was this randomly generated? Yes. So first things first, trade. Evolve. Do I want to evolve? Okay. What I want to do is test with this first. So what am I not evolving? I'm not evolving you. Okay. Mana bind. That does not matter at all. So we go like this. We hit for 3. Or well, yeah, we hit for 3. We deal 3 here. We deal 5. And then we play this guy. And we kill off some of these Sorcerer's Apprentices. And then I don't think there's anything you can do with only 1. And we need to get the face damage in. So I'm going to hit for 12. And set up lethal. So this was really powerful. Yeah. So he didn't get to combo off. He also didn't have a clear, which was lucky for us, so he had to go for that desperation play. The Reign of Toads seems very interesting in this like complete evolve package list. Really like that. So I think we'll give Board Control's list another game or two, and then we will go create both an Aggro Shaman using the Thunderhead, Voltaic Burst kind of combo stuff, and then also make an evolve, like a dedicated Evolve Shaman. Because I do think that splitting these two archetypes up is going to be best. So I'm just going to keep Corpse Taker. The other two versus Zoo, which is what this most likely is not very strong. Reign of Toads could come down and help. Potentially. Serenite's also good. So we have a very okay hand. Okay. So our hand, again, fairly good. I'm okay with this. It messes up our curve a little, but we can play Flame Tongue if we need to. And our only other play is to Totem. So it does mess up our Corpse Taker and our Serenite turn, but this is okay. Okay, so that's fine. I don't mind losing that. So I'm just going to Flame Tongue up. And this list most likely runs to File, so I'm just going to trade there and hit for 4. Alright, so I can go Corpse Taker. That seems pretty good. I'm just going to do that and take this trade. So this looks like a fairly, good position for us. Killing this Corpse Taker needs to be priority 1 for him, and the only way he really does it is like Soulfire or Spellstone. Or Hellfire. Hellfire is really good against us. Okay, he didn't have it. So this worked out very well. I don't know what list he's running. This is very weird. I'm just going to Earthen Might this and play a Serenite, because then we get to trade these without it dying on board. So he needs to have a spell to kill this. Again, Hellfire is really bad, but there's not a lot of plays we could have made that played around Hellfire. Defile? Ooh, Dreadlord, okay. Alright. I'm liking Fungal. Yep. Fungal. Is it worth trading? I don't even think it's worth trading here. We're just gonna go all face. Put that clock on. Ooh, okay. That's pretty good, but not the end of the world. Does he have another one? Jesus, okay. That's unfortunate now. So I can lick them and Rainatoads. I'm just gonna trade this. No, should I? I'll just hit for 3. I don't really know why I considered that trade. Okay, so we got rid of Lickum, that does not really matter. Feral, also not particularly important. I'm gonna trade this off for Defile purposes? No, because this is already... Let's try and get a totem. Healing, okay, good. So, if we just trade everything like that, I already attacked with Lickum. So we don't have a 1. May as well play this guy. So Defile needs a 1, but all of our stuff is 2. Okay, that's good. Nice, I'm glad we played that Firefly. Okay, so he has another, but he can't play it this turn. We have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have exact lethal. Dude, Lickum is so powerful, actually. I never would have thought pre-release, but this is incredible. The thing is, it doesn't fit into Even Shaman because I don't think you have a lot of overload in Even Shaman. But that's a strong card right there for aggro. Alright, so let's go in the collection. And what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of the Jackie Chan list because I didn't like it. We're just going to make 2 Shaman lists. We're going to make our version of like Aggro Shaman 1.0. And first things first, we need the 1-drops. So what 1-drops are good? We wanted to try the Voltaic Burst package. Firefly is good. Glacial Shard is pretty good. And we're going to take a book, or a page that I've already used book, and use the 1 Serenite Taskmaster as our 1-drop package. So going in, we need double Flame Tongue. Lickum is insane. Primal Fin is really good. Are there any 2-drops that we're really looking to hit? I don't think so, but it's worth checking. Even something like Kobold might not be the worst. None of these really have synergy. Yeah, so I think we're good on 2s. Let's go to 3s. In aggro, I like the idea of Electra just because it helps with burn. Oh, we're missing the 1-mana spells that we want. So, we want Lightning Bolt for sure. And I'm considering Zap, but I'm not sure yet, so we'll come back to Zap. Feral seemed pretty good. I really liked how Feral felt, actually. Unbound might be really good, especially if we run Feral. So this could be good. We can kind of take this in overload area as well. And then, were there any 3-drops that we really liked? I don't think so. None of these are really reaching out to me. Yeah, none of these are really speaking to me, so we're going to go to 4s. We want Thunderhead, because that's what our like overload synergy is based on round. None of these. I like the Corpse Taker package, just because it puts on a ton of pressure. So that means we're going to have to run Alec here, which is okay. It's a decent late game. We want Serenite. Serenite's really powerful. Um, and that's good for there. Let's check 5s. We're also considering Hex. We want Bloodlust. I'm going to put in 2 for now. We have to remember that we have to put in Alakir. But maybe we go like that, and then like, oh yeah, Fungal. So like Fungal, and then like Alakir. And then really the only like aggressive thing that we're missing is I had a really good point and I totally forgot it. Oh, Ziliax, just because Ziliax is really strong. And it's really good for our Corpse Taker, so maybe we want to try and fit Ziliax in here too. Maybe we go with like one of these for a Ziliax. So, I think that this capitalizes on the early game a lot better than the other list did. This gives us, in an aggressive deck like Token, Aggro, Lickum's going to be hit in face. We have Unbound Elemental to synergize with our Thunderheads and our Lightning Bolts and our Voltaic Bursts and all that shit. This seems a lot better. We have the 5/1 drops so that we reliably have something. Flame Tongue with Voltaic Burst is great. Flame Tongue with Serenite is great. Corpse Taker package is incredibly powerful, especially with Flame Tongue. And you can protect it with Thunderhead, with Little Rushers, and with Voltaic Burst. So, I think that this is, if you're going for Aggro Shaman, a very strong starting point. I'm not sure, how good it is in practice, because we haven't played it yet, but that seems very, very good. So, now that we have that out of the way, let's try and make Evolve Shaman. So we need Ultimate. I want to try Big Red Voodoo again, because I think it was powerful when we got it off. Is Flame Tongue worth it? Yes, Flame Tongue is one of the best cards. We're going to try and fit Lickum in here for now. I'm not sure if it's going to stay. Lickum is, it's really powerful, but if we're going for this more like Shutterwalky mid-range kind of thing, it might not be worthwhile. Lightning Storm, Manatide, Zentimo for sure, Hex, Krag'Wa. Maybe we want to put the Corpse Taker package in this. It potentially gives our Shutterwalk a lifesteal, depending on, how late in the game we play it, which can be very strong. We want Hagatha for sure. We want Shutterwalk. If we were playing Kalamos, I don't think it's necessary. I've done a lot of stuff with Even Shaman, and I think that this is fairly, equal to, like, it's pretty close to Even Shaman in the style of your late game. So I think this is okay. We're running non-Keleseth version because we're running Big Bad Voodoo and Flame Tongue, so we can afford to fit in some 2-drops. Let's see if anything speaks to us as being particularly strong. Nothing's really standing out. I'm okay with skipping that. Let's look at some 3s. We also want to make sure that we have all the battle cries that we need. So let's start with battle cry. Well, I guess we'll start in Shaman. None of these are important to it. We have a Bog Slosher in there. I'm not sure if a 2-of is worthwhile, so I'm going to not. Grumble is if we're going full Shutterwalk, but I don't think we're going full Shutterwalk. Nope. Ooze as a 1-of is good. Zola is worth considering still. I don't think it's strong enough. We want Serenite for sure. Where is Serenite? Serenite. Any of the big battle cries that we're missing that we really want? Not really. Okay. So, I liked the idea of this former champ. I'm not sure how strong it actually is. I'm going to steer away from it for this beginning, like, the quote core Evolve Shaman list. I do think it's very interesting, I think it's really strong as well, but I'm going to skip out on it for now, just so that as a base, it doesn't mess up with your Shutterwalk with your Bog Slasher. So if we're doing that, we have early game. We have Big Bad Voodoo. Oh, we need Corridor Creeper. Maybe maybe Big Bad Voodoo is not a 2 of. Maybe it's a 1 of. I'm not sure yet. We also want to make sure we have enough Overload to make Lickum good if we're going to be running Lickum. So let's see what we can use. The problem is lots of Overload cards are very situational. So like, what Overload do we have in our deck? We actually have no Overload. So I'm actually going to just take out Lickums. I do think that the Rain of Toads is very strong, especially with Zentimo and Unstable. So I'm going to try to make this work. And then let's go back and look at the RDU Shaman and see what we're missing that felt really strong. So we have the 1-drop package. I think we have the AoE. We'll check that we have the AoE. Oh, we're missing Ziliax. And we have Hagatha in there. So I think the card that we're missing is Ziliax in here. Because we have the AoE, right? Yeah. So we want Ziliax. And I think that this is the base for your mid-range Evolve Shaman. Mid-range Evolve 1.0. You have a strong early game package. We're testing out Big Bad Voodoo. Not sure how good it is yet, but you know, it's a bit of a win more card. But it's at 2 mana. It's so easy to slot into some of your turns when you have bigger minions, especially post Krag'Wa when every turn you're using Unstable Evolution. It helps you really well against like Twisting Nether, Doom Pact, just big board clears. So I think it's worth testing. So our Shutterwalk will deal 3, that's fine. It will give us spells if we played any, that's cool. It will summon itself. We can use the Bog Slasher on this to get more chances for it to summon itself before we Bog Slash. It will give us these, which is fine. It'll freeze, which is fine. And so essentially, it just comes down to, does one of our Serenites go off before the Bog Slasher goes off? So it might be worth considering running a second Bog Slasher, but its tempo can be very interesting. Like, sometimes you don't want to play it because you don't want to bounce something. But with like the Glacial Shards, like bouncing that's fine. Maybe we want to fit a second one of those in and call it a day. Maybe I'm really tempted to get rid of one Firefly, but we really need the early drops to synergize with Flame Tongue. Maybe let's try, instead of 2 Big Bad Voodoos, we try 1 Bog Slasher. Because typically you want to go like have Rain of Toads out, Zentimo, Ultimate, and then Big Bad Voodoo those. So yeah, I think this is a very strong start to mid-range, and I think, you know, this was a very good experiment to do, testing all the day 1, day 2 lists. Not all of them, but you know, we got through the field pretty well. We got to feel it out. I do think that separating these 2 archetypes is very important. I think that we were trying to condense too many things into one deck when really, as you can tell, there's enough to go around to make 2 completely different archetypes. So I'm going to, you know, link to all the lists that we used in the description. So RDU, Dog, Board Control. I'll link the Asmodai one even though we didn't play it, as well as the Jackie Chan. And then the deck codes for these 2 will be in the description as well if you want to try and give either Aggro or Mid-Range Evolve Shaman a shot in the new meta. Bear in mind, you know, it's the first 2 days of the expansion, so the next couple weeks, the next like 2, 3, 4 weeks are going to be very experimental. Stuff's going to come out, it's going to seem incredibly powerful for a day. People will try and build more stuff to, you know, try and beat that. It's going to be very volatile, so I suggest if you can't, like if you don't have all the cards, not to instinctually craft something just because it seems cool. You know, I do that. I have no problem doing that, but especially if you're on a budget or if you're free to play, stuff like that, you want to use your dust very sparingly. I think that, Looking at this list, the new cards, this is a common, so that's easy to get. This is a one of epic. You can just switch this out for something if you don't have it, because again, we're not sure how good it is yet. This is a rare, so it's fine to probably craft. Zentimo is pretty core. I think Zentimo, if Shaman, as long as Shaman exists in the meta, is going to be core in Shaman. It's just super, super versatile. Because as you saw, it's good in aggro, it's good with board control like lightning bolts, it's good in evolve, it's great with hex. So I think that if you're interested in Shaman, even if you don't have Zentimo, Zentimo will stick around as long as Shaman has a place in the meta. It is too early to say whether or not that will be the case, though, so bear that in mind. Krag'Wa, I think he's incredibly powerful. He will also most likely be a mainstay in many Shaman decks. Um, I see him falling off more than I do Zentimo, though. So if you, for some reason, have to choose between one or the other, um, I would definitely say Zentimo has more competitive viability than Krag'Wa does. And aside from that, all the cards are old, so yeah, that's for that list. We'll do that really quick for the aggro one as well. As far as new cards, we have a common. We have two rares. Lickum seems incredibly powerful, though. Again, if Shaman has any, if aggro or like not evolve mid range, but like kind of like the TGT mid range Shaman with the 5 mana 3/6 that buffed your totem, so you got big boards and you had good early game. I think Lickum slots into that really well, so that kind of style of deck. Um, so that's probably a safe craft. And aside from that, this list actually has nothing new. So yeah, I think Shaman is fairly good going into the new meta, at least this style of deck. Um, it has a lot of answers to a lot of different things. I definitely think that aggro is a little bit weaker, just because there's a lot of decks currently that get on the board really quick. Zoo is incredibly powerful, so you need to be able to answer that with Lightning Storm or like Hagatha, stuff like that. So yeah, thanks guys for doing this experiment with me. It was a ton of fun. It's really long, so what I'm going to do is do a supplementary video to this where I kind of go over everything in a much shorter fashion. So if you know, want to check that out as well, you'll get a lot of the same information, but you won't get any gameplay. So yeah, thanks for sticking with us, guys. Thanks to everyone who checked out the stream. This was streamed over at twitch.tv/norkcoaching. So if you want to go and give that a follow as well, that's super cool. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next video, and good luck in the new meta.